like mind in Jamaica.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Yes, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to Both Sides of the Story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Breathes there the man with soul so dead, who never to himself hath said, "This is my own, my native land," whose heart hath ne'er within him burned, as home his footsteps he hath turned, from wandering on a foreign strand. If such there breathe, go, mark him well, for him no minstrel raptures swell. High though his titles, proud his name, boundless his wealth as wish can claim. Despite those titles, power and pelf, the wretch consented all in self. Living shall forfeit fair renown, and doubly dying shall go down to the vile dust from whence he sprung, unwept, unhonored, and unsung.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the times they are a-changing. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now mothers and fathers throughout the land. And don't criticize if you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is wrong, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be past, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly aging, and the first one now will later be last. All the time they are a-changing.
It's the 19th day of the first month of this still new year, 2021, the International Year in observance of a number of things, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. It's Epiphany in Georgia and Ethiopia. Earthquake Awareness Month activities continue here in Jamaica. It's the eve of Inauguration Day in the USA. Hoy es martes el 19 de enero 2021 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
If you can't understand, your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing.
C'est mardi le 19 janvier 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
Waters around you have grown and accepted that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you'd better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. All the time they are a-changing.
All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 19th of January, 2021, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Will he who has stalled live the battle outside and it's raging? It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store. Depending on the nature of your device, downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have logged on to the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to Both Sides of the Story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. We welcome those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM. For example, those in the United Kingdom who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. And if you're in the United States and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. Looking forward to your full participation on the other platforms. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to not only hear but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. Hello, if you're watching on YouTube, we're streaming live video on YouTube there as well on the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. Google YouTube, and if you don't see the video trending, click on the search box, the YouTube search box, where you would normally go to search for songs or programs or music, whatever. Just go into that box, tap onto that box, and type in the name DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to hear and see what's happening on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. We started out this afternoon with the poetry of the great Sir Walter Scott, The Lay of the Last Minstrel. The Lay of the Last Minstrel, and completed that with Peter, Paul, and Mary's rendition of Bob Dylan's priceless piece, The Times They Are A-Changin', aren't they?
And don't criticize if you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rough.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Bashko time. All the things that you need. Bashko. Prices so low you will never need alone at Bashko. Tell it at Bashko. Watch where you're shopping. Apply a amenities, house with furniture and rugs, gifts and linens and glass and mugs. At Bashco, where you chopping? At Bashco, where you the north or south, the east and the west, put them all over, they must be the best. At Bashco, where you shopping? At Bashco, at Bashco, at Bashco.
The store that gives you more. Farmers, you can now control your fungal diseases with Eradicate, a systemic fungicide from Newport First and Jamaica Limited. Eradicate controls coffee rust, leaf spot, black and yellow cicatoca, early and late blight, powdery and downy mildew, and other fungal diseases on your crops. Get your Eradicate at your nearest farm store or at the Newport First and office, 2A, 2B Worry Wharf Complex. Take back control with Eradicate.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
Let the show begin. Happy show.
Soak up the real Jamaican folklore in our brand new podcast, Kin Teeth and Hot Bun. Renowned storyteller Amina Blackwood Meeks brings life to the moments in true Jamaican style.
When you hear crack, you cock your ears. And when you say crack, the story open.
Kin Teeth and Hot Bun, the Gleaner's brand new podcast series with storyteller Amina Blackwood Meeks. Available on SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and Deezer.
There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. For the times they are a-changing.
Come, mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize if you can't understand your son.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text message, but also your WhatsApp message, your voice notes, and you can call us on the WhatsApp line, whether a WhatsApp call or a straight call. Same line for the text line. So you can do three things on this via this one number. You have three options. One number, three options. Text, WhatsApp, or call. 876-365-3346. But the regular call-in lines, as we've indicated, are 876-922-4112-5. 876-365-3346 is the text line and the WhatsApp number. But the regular call-in lines are 876-922-4112-5. Hope you got that. What's on your mind this afternoon? Looking forward to your full participation. In fact, let's say hi to those who have already joined us and have greeted us. Welcome to this afternoon's edition of Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. Quincy Brown says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners in Jamaica all over the world. Caymanians and residents in the Cayman Islands are taking the vaccine. Cayman's relationship with the UK is working in our favor, it would appear. Cayman is leading in the region, says a well-known veteran Jamaican broadcaster. Jones Dolores says, good morning. Good morning. Where could Jones Dolores be now? Let's see. Maybe in Los Angeles, California, because they're 3 hours behind us, perhaps. Perhaps she's in Los Angeles, California. Good morning to you, LA time. Good afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Jones Dolores, who's not only greeting yours truly, but greeting friends as well. Elder Michael Needham, good afternoon to you. Greetings to you too. Elder Michael Needham says, greetings, Sir Dervan Malcolm. I'm locked with you from New York. Good to have you locked in to Power 106 FM from New York, Elder Michael Needham. Thank you very much for tuning in. Quincy Brown says, please say her name on air. Twyla Vargas, the late great Caymanian storyteller from Boddentown, Grand Cayman, passed away on Sunday. We're sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Quincy Brown. Condolences. Twyla Vargas is BT's icon and a national cultural treasure in the Cayman Islands. Artiste, folklorist. Jamaicans celebrate Miss Lou even in death. Out of great respect for Miss Lou, I attended her funeral in 2006 at Coke Methodist Church in Jamaica. We pause today in Cayman as we remember Auntie Twyla. Her books and radio programs will form part of her legacy. Thanks for sharing that part of your history in the Cayman Islands. And again, condolences on the passing of Twyla Vargas. Faye Weller says, good afternoon, everyone. Blessed love to you all. To you too, Faye Weller. Quincy Brown says, you speak French very well, authentic accent and all. It is a pleasure to listen to you. You're a broadcaster. Many radio stations only hire people who can chat these days. Thankful for Carimac, says Quincy Brown. Wish I could say thank you for Carimac as well, Quincy Brown, but I had to sit the Carimac test and they said I didn't pass the test. So I didn't attend Carimac. But for what it's worth, we're grateful to the team at Carimac for considering our body of work years later and inviting us to fill in for a lecturer at Carimac for some time. Natoya Marston Fulcher says, hello, Dervan. Happy New Year to you from Salt Lake City, Utah. Hello, Natoya Marston Fulcher and all the other Jamaicans in Salt Lake City, Utah. Thank you so much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Quincy Brown in the Cayman Islands says, Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks and Dr. Monica Lawrence are both respected in Jamaica and in Cayman. Both continue to contribute to arts and culture in both countries. We know them well and we wish them well. We would like to highlight in particular Dr. Monica Potts Lawrence, because she started the Stella Maris Dance Ensemble. And I had the pleasure to have been invited as one of the founding dancers of the Stella Maris Dance Ensemble, and played the lead male dancer in Orlando, Professor Orlando Patterson's Children of Sisyphus, which was staged at the Little Theatre, and we enjoyed those years with the Stella Maris Dance Ensemble. Yeah, those were the good old days, right? Elder Michael Needham, Quincy Brown, and others are tuned in. Ralston Allen, Sandra Forrester, good afternoon. Paul in Toronto, Canada, good day to you and all your listeners, he says. And we convey gratitude to you, Paul, on behalf of another Jamaican student who was gifted with a learning tool that has become a necessity these days, a tablet, courtesy of a tablet computer, courtesy of the Paul Miles Foundation. Well done, Paul Miles. Congratulations to you and your foundation. And we take note of the fact that you're not stopping here at all. You're going on to make an even bigger difference than you have been making so far. Well done, Paul Miles of the Paul Miles Foundation. Jones Dolores confirms that she's in Sacramento, California. I need to remember that, Jones Dolores, because you've told us that before. Sacramento, California. That's where Jones Dolores is. She's 3 hours behind us, which means it's just after 11 o'clock in the morning in Sacramento, California right now. 3 hours behind us. Lisa Brown Campbell is listening from Las Vegas, which is pretty close to LA as well, which means you're on the same time. Is that you're in the same time zone, Lisa Brown Campbell, in Las Vegas, Nevada? Thank you so much for tuning in. Hi to all the Jamaicans in Las Vegas, Nevada. And every time we hear Las Vegas mentioned, we think of the information we got from the late Tony Leng, who brought to our attention that Jamaica's A.J. Boots Brown was a staple on the circuit, the cabaret circuit in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm trying to remember his achievement. I think the longest running reggae act in Las Vegas, Nevada. These days, he sings with Third World. A.J. Boots Brown. Jamaicans always creating history wherever we go. Wait a minute. I'm seeing here Morna Lawrence listening from the Cayman Islands. Are you related to Monica Potts Lawrence? I can barely see the picture, but it wouldn't be far off to draw that conclusion at this stage or to speculate further at this stage, because she is Monica and you are Morna. Monica Lawrence. Morna Lawrence, tell us some more, please. Your mom means a lot to us here in Jamaica. Assuming it's your mom, clear that up quickly, please. Lisa Brown Campbell confirms that indeed Las Vegas, Nevada and Los Angeles, California share the same time. So it's coming up to 11:30 in the morning in Las Vegas, Nevada and Los Angeles, California. Keep those messages coming in. The text line and the WhatsApp number one and the same. Ricardo is in Glengoff, St. Catherine, and he's shouting out all listeners from across the world. He says it's overcast, rainy, and breezy in Glengoff, St. Catherine. That sounds like lovely weather. Lovely weather to be in bed right now. Overcast, rainy, and breezy. Lovely weather in Glengoff, St. Catherine, Jamaica. Can we clear a couple more on this, the eve of Inauguration Day in the USA? Let's check in and see what's happening in the USA on this, the eve of Inauguration Day. Emotional Biden leaves for Washington. And we know Joe Biden is not one who can hide emotions. Right, we can see it on his face. Biden prepares for inauguration on Trump's last full day in office. What do you need to know, or what you need to know, says CNN. President-elect Joe Biden has arrives in D.C. today and will participate in a national COVID-19 memorial service at the Lincoln Memorial ahead of his swearing-in ceremony tomorrow. Now, if that is just a classic, and maybe we shouldn't make too much of it because it is real. The very fact that there's a national COVID-19 memorial service this evening on the eve of inauguration, it says a lot about the experience and political astuteness and statesmanship of Joe Biden. One moment, please.
Your command, your old road is rapid.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. How can you make your business thrive in the new normal? By using the most powerful IT solutions from Digicel Business Hub to optimize your business operations. High-speed Wi-Fi, mobile and office phones, IT security, Microsoft Office with Teams, and much more. Get Digicel Business Hub, world-class IT from just $399 USD a month for 5 users. Visit us today on www.digicelbusiness.com.
Are you an exporter, a prospective exporter, or have an interest in learning more about exporting? Then this virtual public forum is for you. Join the Jamaica Customs Agency and other industry players for a riveting and informative discussion on all things export under the theme Spotlight on Export, Embracing Opportunities, Confronting Vulnerabilities. Wednesday, January 20, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Visit www.jacustoms.gov.jm to register and participate, and click Connect and Converse with Customs. This is an online forum on export you can't afford to miss. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Exercise. Go ahead. Work up a sweat and increase endorphins, the body's feel-good chemicals. This mental health tip was brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it comes, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Stay inside and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without air. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH. Drop, cover, hold on.
The proceeding was brought to you by OTPEM. Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
The times, they are a-changin', written by the great Bob Dylan and performed by Peter, Paul, and Mary. We were giving you an idea of Joe Biden's pre-inauguration day schedule as outlined and being reported by CNN. President-elect Joe Biden arrives in D.C. today and will participate in a national COVID-19 memorial service at the Lincoln Memorial ahead of his swearing-in ceremony tomorrow. D.C. and states across the country have heightened security in preparation for possible new security threats on Inauguration Day. Meanwhile, the Senate is holding several confirmation hearings today for Biden's cabinet nominees as Democrats race to get key national security posts filled. President-elect Joe Biden will fly to Washington today on a private aircraft, yet another change in protocol on the eve of his inauguration. CNN's Peter Morris spotted 2 Sun Country aircraft at the Delaware National Guard airfield, where Biden is scheduled to depart. A person familiar with the matter confirmed to CNN that Biden was not taking a U.S. government plane to Joint Base Andrews for the first stop of his inauguration festivities. He's flying private, the source said, declining to say whether the government did not offer Biden a plane. A second source familiar with the matter said The government did not offer the Bidens a plane, but did not have details. And President-elect Joe Biden said this afternoon he was proud to be delivering his send-off remarks from the National Guard Center in Newcastle, Delaware, which is named after his son, Bo. I think we have, do we have a bit of that for you? Let's see. No, not right now. But we'll continue to follow developments there. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon. Hope all is well and with you and all your listeners. Hope that all you and your listeners are keeping safe and well. Hope the same for you and yours, H. Morgan. When you get some time, can you refer to my last message from yesterday about use of words? Have a pleasant afternoon. And the message from yesterday was, Mr. Malcolm, listening to your caller talking about what to eat to build your immune system. He's right, but his language using the word overstand as opposed to understand. Overstand meant to keep on a navigational course beyond. If he wants people to take on board what he's saying, they can't overstand what he's saying. They must understand what he's saying. They also use the forward instead of backward. The opposite of forward is backward. Listening to those types of statement with those words give the statement a different meaning. I think you're referring to Raskava's choice of words yesterday afternoon, H. Morgan in Birmingham. No doubt Raskava can speak for himself, but the Rastafarians, members of the Rastafarian faith in Jamaica, have over the years created their own vocabulary. Case in point, irie instead of happy. Instead of using the word happy, they use the word irie. And instead of being using the word understand, they prefer overstand because they're not under anything or anybody, they say. And so on and so forth. So it is. H. Morgan in Birmingham. Those who understand, understand, and those who don't. Because as I learned from some lines I had in a pilot episode of a television drama I was a part of some years ago, understanding is a mystic thing. Sometimes people understand, but don't really know how to manifest their understanding. So when you think they understand, they don't know that you understand that they don't understand. You understand? Words to that effect, which were put in the mouth of a Rastafarian character in that pilot TV show that we did some years ago. Yeah. The head works like that. Some of those little things we don't forget. Understanding is a mystic thing. Sometimes people understand but don't know how to manifest their understanding. So when you think them understand, them not really understand that you understand that them don't understand. You understand? Right. There you go. Let's move on with more on your program. Both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. And JPS reports 20% decrease in estimated bills. Targets further reduction in 2021. The Jamaica Public Service Company is reporting a significant improvement in its guaranteed standards performance, with a 20% reduction in the number of estimated bills over the period January to December 2020. JPS says less than 5% of their customers are estimated on a monthly basis. According to the company, from a customer base of more than 680,000, only about 29,000 customers are now receiving estimates, down from 37,000 a year ago. JPS says it's taking steps to further reduce estimates in 2021. And they also said, which I'm not seeing in this story, maybe in an earlier story, that our light bills for this month should be less, should be about 4% less, based on the price of oil, which fuels, what is it, about 90%? Is it still about 90% of the JPS's generating capacity? And let's go to the phone lines and then come back to some of the trending stories in Jamaica and elsewhere in the world. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
And Shalom. Shalom.
Your phone is near a radio, is it, or some other device?
All right. Give me a second, please. I think I have the radio on.
This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM.
Are you hearing me any better now, Mr. Malcolm?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I must say Ankajar Seneb, both you and your listener. It means it's part Swahili. It means peace, prosperity, and long life to you all.
And Kanar Senev to you too.
Okay. And the struggle continue. A luta continua.
So it does.
You must respond in the affirmative. Over to is certain.
I hear you.
We must overcome. We must overcome.
We shall overcome.
Yeah. Mr. I have this thing on my mind and it's bothering me. It's a follow-up from last week when I called in regards to the gun fine at the port in Montego Bay.
Yes.
I start to say, Mr. Malcolm, it happened again.
So we hear in
Just
this morning, or between last night and this morning. Yeah.
Yes. And I subsequently hear an interview on this very same media in the morning with one Miss Lindsay
Yes.
of the JCF and that lady who hosts the morning program. I forgot the name of the program. She's a lawyer.
On Power 106?
Rodian Quarry?
Yes, yes.
Is it Quarry? Yes.
Yes.
And Miss Linda said they had the means. It is best for what they do, how they go about the operation of allocating this gun on the wharf. It's not for them to follow up on it. I mean, like a trail, but they would do as they always been doing, and that makes the situation more morbid and sad.
No, I think I've heard. I heard Dennis Brooks, who is one of the spokespersons for the Jamaica Constabulary Force, saying words to the effect that they don't, based on how things are set up now, they are not, they don't, and I'm not quoting him verbatim.
I understand.
But that they don't have control essentially over certain areas.
True.
In order to be able to have the kind of hands-on follow-through without there being a breach, as on account of the fact that it's not their people in all the places that their people need to be.
Okay, you're so right.
Sorry,
Oh,
what?
yes.
Hold on, one moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
245.
Mental disorders increase the risk of getting ill from diseases such as HIV, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. Protect your mental health. Call the Mental Health Helpline at 888-NEW LIFE. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a babble outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. For the times they are a-changing.
Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yes, you're finishing up a statement that you said another representative.
Yes, what Dennis Brooks was saying,
I
not
must-
having key people in the not having control over sections of that apparatus through which items come in.
What did you say that gentleman's name was again?
Dennis Brooks.
Okay, yes, you're right. So apologies in order for Miss Lindsay and Miss Quarry. It was on another issue. Miss Lindsay from the JCF was interviewed by her on the radio, and she was speaking about the crime. It's about especially the killing that took place over the week. It was also reported that 71 hour,
72 hour period.
72 hour rather period, there was
25
Jamaican killed.
Yes.
That's an awesome tally. It's something for all of us to be concerned about.
Sadly, though, and I keep coming back to this because I comb through the archives virtually every day. Sadly, we have seen this movie before. It has been played over and over and over for decades in this country.
Yes, a recurrent decimal, so to speak.
Yes.
And just like the operation in the finding of the gun.
Yes, there you go.
I'm gonna be downright flank and blatant with you and your listeners that I don't believe nothing will become of it. Of any of these incidents. Nobody will be arrested. And if anybody will be arrested, it would be under some pretense, and then they will later on you don't hear about the case or the person got arrested. It's sad, but like you said, Mr. Malcolm, yes, and also that same gentleman that you speak of, during that very interview, he said that they are confident, the JCS is confident that some arrest will be made and they will find out who are the importers of these weapons and also who will collect them. And the basis on which he said that, I was alarmed. He said on the basis on which he is certain that arrest will be made is that because some agency of the United States is helping. Not on the basis that they can guarantee the Jamaican people that they have enough professionality and investigative detectives and all of those people at hand to investigate and inquire and lead to the capture and the place before the court of these people who are importing these illegal weapons. And I think that first batch has to do with those killings. Remember, I suggested in Montego Bay, I suggested, especially in Endon, Norwood, I suggested that when they find the 19 guns that they say, that probably 200 already has passed through. So these young men who are also victims of our socio-economic system, because you can't blame them all. You can't just throw them all the blame on them. Some of them didn't have no brought up this. Some of them didn't get the opportunity to express their creativity and skill and knowledge, which can lead to positive contribution to our nation development. And I will go further from there to mention this. Mr. Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that Garvey said something?
He said a lot of things.
Yes, but this main one, what he said about a people.
A people without a knowledge of their past, history, culture, origin is like a tree without roots.
And I respectfully had him. Literally, they are dead, both spiritually and literally. And that's what is happening when these illegal guns are being in the hands of young people who have no knowledge of themselves. They have no foresight of what future they have because of the society that they were brought up in and how they were cultured. And Mr. Malcolm, I'm going to ask you respectfully, do you really and truly know and understand who we are, the majority of the people, especially those that are called Negro who was enslaved in Jamaica? Do you really and truly know who we really and truly are?
Insofar as we have been exposed to information from family and from history.
All right. I'm going to ask you now. What secular history told us that who we are, Mr. Malcolm? Just remind. What secular history told us who we are, truthfully?
No, I know who I am.
Mr. Malcolm, we can say that, and we can say that with pride.
Absolutely. You can't speak to my experience.
You're right.
You can
Mr.
only
Malcolm,
speak to your experience.
Mr. Right, when I said who we are, I'm talking about our origin.
Yeah. What is the you have been enamored with that for a long time now, and I'm trying to get an understanding as to how does that fit within these times? What's the point you're trying to make?
Yes, I'm going to give you respectfully. There was a subsequent interview on the last program before years, earlier on, with Ralston Hyman, Mr. Opposition Spokesman on National Security, Mr. Bunting, and Mr. Ronnie Trace, the host of that program. And Mr. Bunting gave a statistic compared to the world, the Caribbean, and Latin America. And he speak of in the Latin America, we have the most homicide, and also he didn't use that exact term.
Sadly, again, that is not a breaking story. We have been there for a very long time.
All right. And did you know that we have answer? There's answer for why we are falling to such decadence. All right.
Go ahead with the answer, please.
I'm going to permit, if you will permit me, I'm going to show the Jamaican people of what stock they come from, whether they want to accept it, yes or not, because you can't help who you are now. You can't help your ancestral lineage where you come from now, because you're already here. This is what the Most High said in his word. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Above, I will emphasize, above all people that that are upon the face of the earth. Those are powerful words, ain't they, Mr. Malcolm? Now the question can be asked, then why are we such in a decadent, backward state in regards to our own
Yes, tell us.
socio-economic relations?
Why? What happened?
All right, Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
There was a conditionality set out for we to be that people above all nations. And Mr. Malcolm.
What was that conditionality?
All right, I will get there. And I want to make a statement in regard to all those people who are killing one another, hating one another, bad-minding one another, raping our young ladies and our mothers and our sisters. I'm going to send you a message, and I want you to take this message and read for yourself, because you can't know more than what is being established. All right, there was the conditionality, Mr. Malcolm. I found it in the same book. I found it in the same book of Deuteronomy 28. And I will just quickly, if you will permit, just read 2 verses for you. It said, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. I'll read from verse 14. He said, and thou shalt not go aside from any of the word which I command thee this day, to the right or to the left, or to go after other gods to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken, the same people he's talking to that he said are his special people above all people. Hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments. His commandments, Mr. Malcolm. His laws, his statutes, and his commandments. And his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses, verse 15, curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And he goes on to say, cursed shall thou be in the city. Have you ever been to Denham town recently? And look, there's the water flowing in the street. Garbage pile up that has not been collected
Why
for
are you
years.
singling out Denham Town? Denham Town
No,
is not alone in that
all right.
regard.
You're right. But I was just using as a reference, because I've been there and seen it. Now, cursed shall thou be in thy basket and in thy store. Cursed shall the fruit of thy body be. Even our children are gone backward. They are the young people are the one who is doing the most murder and killing. Yeah, there's this. So this book that we have awfully condemned that it's somebody else's book is really our book. It's about our state now, our state before, our state now, and the state that we will move on to in the future.
So how do we reverse this curse?
All right, just give me, yes.
No, we don't have all the time. There are others who need to join.
Yes, you're right. And I will give them an opportunity very soon, just in a minute. All right. You know, in verse 15 is self-explanatory. We have to go back, as I said. Stop rape one another. Stop kill. Stop murder. Stop hate. Stop grudgeful and bad mind one another. People who are the people of God, who are Israelites who came from the ancient kingdom of Israel, the holy Mount Zion, Jerusalem. That's where we come from, Northeast Africa. We are Africans, but we are the separated Africans. And why we are in this state is because we have violated all the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord our God has given us. Also in the book of Exodus chapter 20, read from verse 1 to 17. He gave us laws, statutes, and commandments that we are to abide by. We need to go back into keeping those laws, statutes, and commandments, and they will come back into righteousness and into good living. One of the things that we don't know, why I said about the Caribbean and Latin America, all right, did you know that the tribe of Asher landed in their enslavement in that place called that place that we got oil from, Venezuela? Did you know that the tribe of Manasseh, the house of Joseph, who was taken captive in ancient Egypt?
As we go to the break and wrap, what is the significance of that?
No, the significance of it, we need to go back to keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. But the significance of what I was explaining just now about the different tribes where they landed in the so-called New World, in the Americas, I can give you all where the 12 tribes of Israel are. The chief of the tribes. We are here in the Caribbean, and those curses are still upon us until we repent and change and turn, believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, and obey the laws of man, as long as it's not in contradiction to the law of God. Then we will have a perfect society.
Thank you very much. A sound note on which to end. All the best.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock. Most persons will suffer from a mental disorder at some point in their lives. If you or someone you know has a mental disorder, contact the Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Healthline at 888 New Life. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
Join Jason Downer, Dawit Jeffrey, and Saku Hunter every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. live and exclusively on Power 106 FM for Magaba's Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Do you have a son? Are you the guardian for boys? Do you teach or work with boys? What are some of the challenges you face? Are you searching for answers? Are you concerned about the state of our nation boys and males in general? Raising boys, teaching boys, preparing boys. Magaba Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Join us.
Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. For the times they are a-changing.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Some more messages popping up online. Quincy Brown in the Cayman Islands says, Morna Lawrence is a patriotic Caymanian. Dr. Monica Lawrence, née Potts, is a prominent Jamaican. Both are my friends. Imani and Suad are Dr. Lawrence's daughters. Thank you very much, Quincy Brown. And Quincy Brown says, thank you for accommodating us, your Caymanian listeners, on your show. Pleasure to have you joining us, Quincy Brown. And he takes on Raskaba's language of overstand. Overstand is the Rastaman language, says Quincy Brown in Grand Cayman. Nicola in Mandeville, Manchester, trust all is well with you and your family. Good afternoon. She says, Dervan, I have been curious to find out if they have deep cleaned or will sanitize and sterilize the White House for the Bidens to take up presidency. That, in my estimation, is of paramount importance in the present dispensation. You're perfectly correct. And that would form part of the sweeping of the White House. Normally, and we have seen the Secret Service at work, they generally do a sweep of an area. They check into that area according to certain permutations. They check into the area within a period of time that would allow them to do all the sweeping that needs to be done of the area. So that if the president is, well, let me not say too much more, but the fact is that's a part of the That's a part of the security apparatus, because you have different kinds of threats. And the key thing, the work of the Secret Service, which has evolved, by the way, when you read the history, you recognize that, is to, as best as possible, ward off, intercept, shut down, wipe out any particular threat to the president and his family, essentially, which is why even when you cease to be president of the United States, you and your family still have the security of the Secret Service. It's just a fact of life, because people can choose to do you things before, after, during, or after the presidency. In fact, there's a famous quotation. I'm trying to remember. There was an attempted assassination. I think it was in England. Was it the UK? And the quotation was, the terrorists said they only need to get it right once. We better get it right every time. In other words, it is what it is. Those of us who are into close protection and Secret Service and KGB and what have you, and whatever the various security apparatus, the terrorists say they only need to get it right once. We need to get it right every time. That is a fact of life. That is a fact of life. And so the Secret Service, the members of the team, have to ensure that they cover every base. That they don't miss anything at all, because that is where, once they miss anything, that is where others move in to try and do harm. And the doctors will tell you on that term of doing harm, their oath is essentially, and their ethos is, do no harm. Do no harm. That is the ethos of the medical, of the doctors, the medical doctors. Do no harm. Well, we live in a world, and we have lived in such a world for some time, where there are always those who are up to no good and would want to do us harm. We just have to continue to do our best to protect ourselves and hope that the broader system of protection works for us. That's what it boils down to. Here's a call coming through on our WhatsApp line, same as our text line, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. I'm sorry, just a moment. Let's see why we're not hearing you. Okay. Go ahead now, please.
Blessed love.
Good afternoon.
Give thanks to the new man.
Welcome.
You heard me? Okay. I want to talk about the insignia today.
The what?
The insignia, the medallion that the Governor General sustained the other day.
Go ahead.
What is the definition of the insignia? You can share it with me and the public if you know.
I looked at it when the matter came up. I would have to refresh my memory.
Now listen still. You can refresh your memory now. I have to go past it.
Yeah, let's pass that.
Well, You know that in Governor General say in this from wearing, suspend from wearing the insignia. The insignia that the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, give him. That means say him drop her honors, and him say him suspend it. How you see it?
It is what it is. The Governor General has refrained from wearing it since the controversy.
Okay. So it is a symbol of honor, of governorship that the Queen gave. And if him say him suspend that, that means him overthrow him own office where the Queen gave him. So me that's it. Can boycott her honors.
No, no. No, that's not it.
If boycott her honors, that means say him suspend her honors. That is a symbol.
But his position remains unchanged. His position as Governor General remains unchanged. That the removal of the insignia doesn't change that.
Okay. So what him going to do now? Him going to resign from office?
No. We have no information on that.
Yeah, but without a reason, different within a reality. To plan him suspend wearing the insignia, him suspend himself from the office of the Governor General. He can no more because, sir, I act in that capacity as Governor General. So I'm under that seat.
Well,
right. To the next point.
Yes, go ahead.
1966. I want you to look up this one because it is at your tip of your finger. And I know you will do it. You know, through your eye office. 1966. When the Emperor of Ethiopia paid a visit here to Jamaica. He give black people, Rastafari in general, Rastafari elders, the Imperial Lion of Judah insignia, a golden medallion, just like
what does it mean? What did you inquire as to what were the elements of that insignia? What were the features of that insignia?
Yeah, never tell us still, but we have to look it up and share it to the public. It represents His Imperial Majesty. A proud African sovereignty.
Yeah, but what is on it? What give us the details of the insignia? What is on it?
Lion symbols.
Oh.
Lion symbol.
The image of a lion. That's it? That's all?
And King and His Majesty himself is on it also.
Oh.
And so that's why I asked them now to know the definition of the insignia, a symbol of authority to govern.
I don't
consider what manner of love the Emperor has bestowed upon us as a people by giving us the Imperial Lion of Judah insignia, just as how the Governor General get it from the Queen to govern Jamaica.
No, the insignia at the very basic level is a badge, otherwise known as an emblem. It could be a badge or an emblem of
specific one. I have no different category.
It could be a badge. Insignia. It could be a badge or an emblem, whether signifying that what someone is of a military rank, of an office, or membership of an organization.
That is one definition. Go on again, because I look it up.
It is what it is.
All right. So right now, we're calling up Prime Minister Andrew Wallace. We don't know if he's listening to this program. But know that the Governor General suspend wearing the insignia. Him also, we call him upon him to dissolve Parliament. You know? And them do submit themselves loyal to Her Majesty rule anymore. And suspend it. The an agenda will appoint the Prime Minister. So all of them need to go suspend Parliament. You know?
That's not how the Constitution of Jamaica works. One moment, please.
Out of the new one if you can't lend your hand for the time.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Are you an exporter, a prospective exporter, or have an interest in learning more about exporting? Then this virtual public forum is for you. Join the Jamaica Customs Agency and other industry players for a riveting and informative discussion on all things export under the theme Spotlight on Export, Embracing Opportunities, Confronting Vulnerabilities. Wednesday, January 20, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Visit www.jacustoms.gov.jm to register and participate, and click Connect and converse with Customs. This is an online forum on export you can't afford to miss. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and One Spot Media has a special gift for you and your family. Enjoy a 30% discount on our 6-month subscription plan and receive the gift of Jamaica's most authentic television and radio channels. Yup, you heard us correctly. Enjoy a 30% discount when you purchase a 6-month subscription plan from One Spot Media. Simply log into onespotmedia.com, select the 6-month subscription plan, and click subscribe. Offer ends January 31, so don't hesitate. Subscribe now and let One
The
Spot
following
Media
is a
connect
program
you with
advisory
home.
from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. For the times they are
Our mothers and fathers throughout the land. And don't criticize if you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand. For the times they are a-changing. The line it is wrong, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly aging, and the first one now will later be last. For the times they are a-changing. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you'd better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the time they are a-changing. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win. For the time they are a-changing. and fathers throughout the land. And don't criticize if you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Chuck Ray says, Dervan, why do you encourage your listeners to call you on WhatsApp when the audio is so poor? Well, we know we've had audio problems, but I didn't think this afternoon was bad. Let's try again. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we have a listener complaining that your audio is poor. But I didn't think it was that bad. Otherwise, I would have said it to you earlier on. But let us bring this to a conclusion because there are others lined up to speak.
Yeah. So may I say the Prime Minister to do the honorable thing. Because the Governor General appoint him. You know? So the Governor General suspend the Queen honors that him give, you know. So we are called upon him to dissolve Parliament and over black people who have under him portfolio. But him and the People's National Party to them true government, you know. The Imperial Lion of Judah.
It's good that you have taken this interest in the state of affairs in your own way, and that is fine. I just wonder, how do you find time to deal with your own personal affairs while spending so much time?
This is my personal affair. This is my all in all. We do everything Africa. We talk Africa, we walk Africa, we eat Africa, we sleep Africa.
Yes.
This is our everything.
So are you, I'm trying to remember if you had told us before, is it that you do craft or just trying to, what is your vocation?
Why heavens are click. Most natural. Our domestic affair, you know?
No, in terms of how you earn a living.
Yeah, to cover our domestic affairs.
Yeah, so how? Is it art and craft that you do? I'm just trying to, I think you might have mentioned it once on this program. That's what I'm trying to remember.
Oh, did I say broom and mats and
right.
And everything upright, where we can do uprightly.
Right.
Just stay my life until we reach on the shores of Ethiopia, where we can do it greater.
All right. So you're a creative man.
We are a creative people.
There you go.
Personal.
Right. Great.
You know, because that's we are creative, you know.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hope the Governor General and the Prime Minister are listening. Thank you very much for the call.
And remember, radio audience, they can look for the definition of such insignia. You know, golden medallion that the King of Kings, the man who have the highest title in the world, leave with us as black people. So we need to stay away with Britain and America and turn to our black self and stand as an independent African nation under the banners. The man shall live high, the Israel banners, it shall not suffer loss. You know, the red, gold, and green, and the red, black, and green with the black 5 star representing us as a people, and the lion symbol representing Ethiopia crowded. That is where we should go to the future.
Right.
Because we see, say, I got that before you run.
No, but we have to wrap.
Not get a response from Buckingham Palace yet. About the insignia. The thing.
Yeah, but it looks like you're going to have to write to the Governor General yourself. And that's what I would suggest.
Right to him and the Queen, you know, and the Prime Minister,
but at least, the beautiful thing about writing is that once it is written, it becomes a record. So let the records show that you caused your voice through your writing, through your letter to be heard. So go ahead and write.
Africa,
all right?
Ethiopia, Africa, Black International Congress Church of Salvation have been doing this from 1958 until now.
So the records will bear you out.
Okay, give thanks for your patient listening and wrap up attention. And remember that Michael Manley and Shera, they leave Jamaica and go Africa and come back. One of them come back, so Selassie give them rod. rap correction. All of the elder people in this country must remember it. So all of this government in Jamaica, present and farm, the whole of them know about I repatriation. You know, see,
Right. Thank you.
Bright in the society. They
Yes.
know where I come from, the people, from slave,
Yes.
written no colonization. So we have to tell them nothing.
Thank you.
And
Thank
they
you.
had-
Thank you very much. All right. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. That caller got tired of holding. Sorry about that. It's a little frustrating for some callers when we take a while to wrap other callers. Sorry about that. Coming up at 3:30, we have a couple of connections to make on this afternoon's edition of Kids Connection or Kids Connect. Yeah, going forward, we'll do our best in that regard. And there is an initiative that we're going to be hearing about in a little while involving children of two educational institutions, one here in Jamaica and the other in the Bronx in New York. And we're going to do that in a little while. But since we have a couple of minutes before the break, let's take take a call and come back with this feature. To the call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yes, that caller that you just talked a while ago.
There's a terrible hum in your line, though.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that caller that just spoke to you a while ago.
Yes.
Of course, every day I'm come with the same foolishness with this African thing. Why not get the Black Star Liner? And all who want to go back to Africa go. When I want to go to Africa, love Jamaica. I love my black people, but I love Jamaica. You get me?
Yes.
So
Well, that's his experience, his story, his mindset, his thinking.
Yeah, but I want to tell him that I'm talking rubbish. I don't want to do it and want him I have to tell everybody else. Say it every day.
Well, you know what the saying says: one man's trash is another man's treasure. So,
I'm not against him going back to Africa from one.
Yes.
And him can arrange a Black Star Line if he can. And all who want to go back with them, go on. I respect the people of Africa. I'm a black man too. So I must respect Africa. But I love about Jamaica, I'm born and I love Jamaica. I don't want to leave Jamaica for nothing. You get me?
Yes.
That's all I want him to hear.
All right. Thank you for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Quincy Brown says, all we have is our memory. We lose that, then we lose everything. Words are powerful. Let us pray for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Also, I'm not sure when Raskava will get on, but I see him calling through. But we're going to take a feature after the break. So perhaps after that feature. But just to take us to the break, Quincy Brown, where did the message go? Right. All we have is our memory. We lose that, then we lose everything. Words are powerful. Let us pray for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Junior Jabari also has something to say. Dervan, good afternoon. What a beautiful day of test match yesterday into early this morning between Australia and India. Yes, indeed it was. I enjoyed it myself, Junior Jabari. Wonderful. Althea Bernard, Maureen Keating, Peter, Anna, Estevanovich, Chisholm, and all the others messaging us. We'll come back to your messages after the break.
They are a-changing. The line it is wrong, the curse it is cast.
You're listening listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
All the time they are a-changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. For the times they are a-changing.
Mothers and fathers throughout the land. And don't criticize if you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand. For the times they are a-changing. The line it is wrong, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. It is a Tuesday afternoon, just after 3:30, and time for Kids Connect. We have already connected with one of our guests, having a difficulty connecting with the second of the two. We're still working on that behind the scenes. But we have to press on. There's an arrangement, an initiative between two educational institutions, one here in Jamaica and the other in the Bronx, New York. And we're still trying behind the scenes to connect with the other contact in the Bronx. So I suspect Lyndon Taylor is listening because he helped us to coordinate this segment. So we'll see if he can help us to get beyond the challenges we're having in reaching the second of our two guests. But in the meantime, it's an initiative, a virtual education exchange program involving two educational institutions, one here in Jamaica and the other in the Bronx, New York. While we wait to connect with Ms. Fahim Chowdhury of Bronx Better Learning, and this is her brainchild, and that's in the Bronx in New York. And while we wait to connect with her, let's say hello and welcome to Ms. Cordelia Folks of Meadowbrook Preparatory School right here in Jamaica. Good afternoon, Ms. Folks. How are you?
I am fine, thank you, Mr. Malcolm. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here on this week's edition of Kids Connect here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. First of all, it would be remiss of us not to get an idea from you if you're in a position to say how things have been at Meadowbrook Prep School in general terms since the onset of COVID-19 in March last year.
Okay, before I do, just a correction. Fahim Chowdhury is actually a male.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
All right.
Oops, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Right. Mr. Fahim Chowdhury, yes.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. At Meadowbrook, as you know, we are all aware, we have had most schools or all schools have had to close. It has been a challenge for us because we have had to do online teaching, which was something that we were not engaged in much of that prior to the coming of COVID. However, we, stuck to the task, we got ourselves prepared, and I must say that we have been doing an excellent job. Parents have been quite satisfied, and we are not just concerned about the academics. We have to think of the children. How they are feeling now, they are at home, they are unable to meet their friends, and they have always been asking, when are we going back face to face? When will we be doing that? But what we have done, my principal has always asked us, and we also are cognizant that it is important that we speak with our children, not just focus on the academics, but have them talk about regular things. So each morning, say the first half an hour, we have general conversation. So children will talk about the dog that had puppies, the chicks in the yard, the chick that fought with the cat, all of these things. Maybe they went out at some point in time, and so we engage them in discussions, not just in terms of the academics, but we want them to be comfortable. We understand the challenges at home, and so Meadowbrook has made it their duty not just to focus on the academics, which we think is very important, but we also think of the emotional side of the children. Our motto is preparing to serve, and so we don't just prepare in terms of the academics, but we want to have well-rounded students. So we have made it our duty to do things online. We did not have our usual Christmas concert, but we had children who went in at school and recorded, and we were able to put together a video to share with the parents. And so life at Meadowbrook continues. We try in every way to involve our parents and involve our students despite the coming of COVID and despite the fact that we have had to be at home.
Is it fair to say then, based on the experience so far, that you're not overly concerned or worried about PEP?
We know that we have to prepare our children for PEP, and we have been doing that. But while we do that, we also have to think of their mental status. We have to think of how they are, not just pushing them for the academics. Yes, we prepare them, but we have them talk about other things and do other things so that they don't feel as if they are in this box and there is no way out. So we try to have a wholesome kind of interaction with our students.
And what's the level of participation like? Are you close to 100%, if not 100%?
We are close to 100%, I would say.
Yeah. All right. Hold it right there, please. Ms. Folks, thank you very much for that update on Meadowbrook Preparatory School coping with COVID-19. Let's welcome now Mr. Fahim Chowdhury of Bronx Better Learning. Hello, Mr. Chowdhury. How are you?
Oh, pleasure to meet you. How are you doing?
I am fine, thanks. Thank you so much for joining us here on Kids Connect on both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. And you're joining Ms. Cordelia Folks of Meadowbrook Prep School. And I get the impression you know her well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we talk all the time now. We've become overseas collaborators. So, yeah, I know her very well.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, that's good to know. So, pardon me for asking the question this way, with respect to this virtual education exchange program. Who proposed?
So it was an idea that I was thinking about with one of my colleagues, Mrs. Buckle at the charter school. And the idea was that we would do a unit on the election, but we wanted to have a partner overseas to have different perspectives on politics. And so I approached the school through Mrs. Buckle, who worked at Meadowbrook before, and she spoke to me of the perfect partner in this enterprise. And she said, you've got to talk to Mrs. Folks. She would love to do this project with you if you just talk about it with her. And after the first phone call, I knew right away that the synergy was going to be there.
And what was that initial contact like, Mrs. Folks?
He called. I expected his call, and we just chatted. It was something that we really loved. We loved the idea. This is something that we would have always wanted for our children, and so we were just happy. We were really delighted to know that something like this had come up. And I just delved right in with Fahim, and once we made the first call, principal was made aware of this thing, and she was willing. She was really happy to know that we could come up with something like this, and so she gave us our blessings, and we just ran with it.
Have you? What kind of preparatory steps have you taken so far, Fahim Chowdhury, and in getting this virtual education exchange program off the ground?
Well, it started with, both of us, we had this election coming up that was of huge importance. And so usually we teach this at the end of the year, and it just so happened that Cordelia, she told me that you had an election on the 3rd. So I reached out to her and I said, something, wouldn't it be great if in the midst of all that's happening with our students, that this could also be a great social opportunity for them. So, I know that for me during this time, and a lot of us here and probably over in Jamaica, that, we have a lot of social restrictions and it's tough. And one of the things I sort of had in mind was, think about how not only educationally enriching this would be, but socially and culturally. So we, came up with like a plan. And so we kind of tried to align it. So I was going to have our students research government. And typically when you do government, it happens at the end of the year, apart from the election. That's how New York State sort of outlines it. We said, well, wait a second, that makes no sense. Let's do it in a way that's very real, very relevant. And we have so much going on right now. We had a very polarizing president. People were very strongly for him or against him. We had COVID happening. We had Black Lives Matter happening due to the tragedy with George Floyd. So our students were just energized by what was going on around them. And so the fact that, Mrs. Buckle, who's one of my co-teachers from Jamaica, she was saying that there was also an election in Jamaica with the prime minister. And I was like, something, I don't know a whole lot about, Jamaica's government, and neither do my kids. And Cordelia was saying how her children were so invested in the American election. And it just worked out. The synergy worked out just great. And we wanted our kids to not present to, just the teacher. It's kind of not an authentic audience. We kind of know the answers to.
Sorry.
So
one
sorry,
moment. Sorry to cut you there, but we need to take a break. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
How do you want to start 2021? Do you want to start a business, create wealth, or build your brand? Then you must attend the Jamaica Stock Exchange's Investments and Capital Market Conference, January 26th through 28th. To learn how to do these and more, visit jamstockx.com to register or call JSC at 876-967-3271. Sponsored by Jeffries, NCB Capital Markets, TVJ, Pegasus Jamaica Observer, Oppenheimer, TNT Unit Trust Corporation, Cygnus, Phosphate, CW Business, Beretta Investments, and Dollar Financial.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
Indeed, the times they are a-changing, and our guests have been changing with the times or making adjustments accordingly. In this segment, the second segment of this week's edition of Kids Connect, we're looking at a virtual education exchange program between two educational institutions, the Bronx Charter School for Better Learning in the Bronx in New York, and Meadowbrook Preparatory School here in Jamaica. It's the brainchild of Mr. Fahim Chowdhury of the Bronx Charter School for Better Learning. And he co-opted with some assistance, Mrs. Cordelia Folks of Meadowbrook Preparatory School. And you were explaining, I think the one of the last words I heard before we took the break was synergy. You spoke of a synergy, Fahim Chowdhury.
Yeah, I've tried to do this before. Like, I've always believed that education shouldn't be confined within the four walls of the school, that with technology, that we should be reaching out and offering our kids opportunities to collaborate with kids in other states, in other countries. And I've actually tried this before. I tried this with a teacher in Maine, another state in the United States. And you kind of need a partner who, works with you in a certain way, and you just kind of jive, and you kind of have the same, the same values, and and great working relationship. And I found that person in Cordelia. So this was something I've been thinking about for a while, and this was an amazing time to do it. And the idea was our kids would be able to meet kids from other places, from another culture. And about 80% of our children in the Bronx, they are of Jamaican origin. So as we were doing this, and I was talking about the project, all these students would bubble up with, my father's in Montego Bay, and oh my God, where is this school? And, on Cordelia's end, I would bounce an idea off of her, and she would bounce an idea off of me. And synergy to me is when you have two people working together, but you optimize each other. You kind of make each other better somehow. So every time I talk to Cordelia, I come up with another idea of doing something, and hopefully Cordelia feels the same way. So I love that word, synergy. It's like synchronized energy. And, it's just been a delight. And this thing is just built and built and built, and it's going to culminate in this virtual educational exchange on the 27th of January, when our children through Zoom are going to present what they learned about the government, the issues, the election, to the children in Jamaica, the students. They're not children anymore, they're young adults because they're sixth graders over there. And their students over there are going to present about their election. But it's not only that. We're also doing cultural exchanges. We're also doing recordings of song and dance. So there's a cultural aspect to this as well that I think is going to be very, very rich.
It sounds that way. Give us a sense of the preparations, Mrs. Folks, and the cohort of students that you're working with. What age group are we talking?
We are working with students between 10 and 12 years old. We have a few students from grade 4, a few from grade 5, and grade 6, which we have 25 students. So in all, we will end up with probably 35, 37 students. And the preparation is that we discuss government. What we did, we used the election and looked at our campaigning strategies, how campaigning was done, the different ways that, innovative ways that came about as a result of COVID. So we had the use of the dub plates and all of that. So we have been going online, looking at videos, looking back at what we saw on the news, and we have our discussions, and we look at the House of Parliament, what it's made up of, our bicameral system, what does it mean to have a bicameral system. So we have a Senate and we have the House of Representatives. We look at our head of state. So we do much of that by research. What we see on television, we watch videos, we read our textbooks, because we do this in the third term as well. But I also thought it was a good idea to bring it forward to the first term because we were experiencing an election. So the children, they create slides. We put our slides together, we discuss color, we discuss style, and we have been just collaborating. It's not a one-man, one-group thing. We are working together and bouncing ideas. So students bounce ideas, they decide, okay, let's not use this font, let's try something else. So it has been a lot of collaboration that has been involved in this.
Which is one of the key skills or approaches that is encouraged for these children at this age. Are they? How have they responded? Well, let me not put words in your mouth. How have they responded?
They've been really excited about this, and they keep asking questions about it. And, another interesting thing, Mr. Malcolm, was originally because my kids are in fourth grade. I have about 96 students. I have 4 different classes, about 24 each, and so we have 96 kids. And so we were trying to partner up, with another fourth grade class. And it turned out that Cordelia's sixth grade teacher, but think about this. You have a program called Kids Connect. I kind of feel like our kids in our country, they don't have enough opportunity to connect with people in different age levels. So this was an opportunity to build a mentorship relationship moving forward. Ideas for next year would include our kids would do writing pieces using sensory language, language that evokes, visuals and, tactile sensations and all those things. And then they could partner up with the kids that Cordelia has, and they can kind of give them feedback, kind of as mentors. And in our education system, it's kind of like I call it like an assembly line system. We batch these kids based on age, not based on ability, based on age. And they kind of be in these sort of cocoons, right? The fourth grade kids, they interact with the fourth grade kids. Fifth grade kids interact with the fifth grade kids. But why not have this sort of multi-age relationship where we have these fourth graders who are going to be interacting with the sixth graders. And, these are kids who they naturally would kind of look up to. And so it could be a wonderful opportunity for a mentorship relationship. And I just think it's just such a healthy sort of connection for them to be making. And so, it's pretty extraordinary and kind of ironic that this sort of happened, for me anyway, during the most socially restrictive time. But I guess it's like, that saying that innovation is born out of difficulty.
Yeah, necessity
and
is
you
the
kind of
mother
have
of
to think
invention.
outside the box, And I'm so happy that, obviously not because of COVID, it's an awful thing that happened. But, as teachers, we were forced to think in different ways. And it went beyond the academic. We also thought about, my goodness, as adults, we've had our days struggling with this, not being able to see our loved ones. Imagine our children. I mean, they can't even go out to recess and do those types of things and high five each other. So, it's great if they learn a whole lot about government, of course, but I just really want this to be a rich social experience that can turn into like a mentorship experience moving forward. So it was almost serendipitous that they weren't fourth grade students, that they were sixth grade students.
Yes. It sounds, Cordelia, folks, that you're in the making of a long-lasting relationship. I don't think it's going to end on the 27th of January at all.
It will not end anytime soon. As a matter of fact, I don't see it ending. We have been having virtual meetings, members of staff at Meadowbrook as well as at BBL. And if you should stand aside and watch us, you would think that we have been around and we have been friends for ages. And for him, I've told him that he's now an honorary Jamaican.
Not really. I mean, I like Red Stripe, but that's about it. My patois is terrible. But maybe I'll learn. Well, listen, Mr. Matt, we're talking about synergy and how this thing grew. It started with me, a bunch of teachers got involved, a music teacher got involved, the art teacher got involved, all, teachers from different grades got involved because we're going to do breakout rooms. So we want them to sort of interact in small groups. So they have about 30 kids over there. We have about 100. We need adult supervision in breakout rooms. So, my principal, Mr. Jacobs, recruited teachers from the lower grades, and there's just so many people to thank. I won't start the list, but there's so many people who made this possible. It's not just me. And, they made it grow. So, just to give you a sense of this virtual educational exchange, I mean, when they meet, one of the first things that they do is just talk to each other. It's not even educational. We had them generate questions like, what's your favorite food? What's COVID like for you? Just things that kids would want to connect over, and, to feel good for them to talk to each other about these things. And, they could bond over those types of things and learn from each other, so it's just getting to know you at first. The next thing that they do is an art project. So their art teacher at Meadowbrook and our art teacher, Mrs. Holodak, they're going to do a collage, a cultural collage. So they're going to use at-home materials, in creative ways and do this art project. We don't even get into the politics till the afternoon. So we want them to get to know each other, to, do creative things, to build that personal relationship before they get into the politics and the government and those types of things. So it's just I feel like a wonderful, well-rounded type of day that's not just focused on the government aspect of it, but it's focused on the arts and culture and song and dance. And the math teacher got involved doing dance TikToks. So this thing has just sort of grown and grown and grown. And so, it's going to continue to grow, I feel past the 27th, like you said.
Yeah. No, that is, sorry, go ahead, Mrs. Folks.
In addition, we will also have Kahoot games. And the questions will be based on the system of government in the USA as well as here. So out of that, what they have learned, they will play the games and that will act as reinforcement. So I really anticipated a day of fun. I really think they're going to enjoy themselves. And before we go, I would just love to say how much I appreciate and thank Carleen Buckle-Fraser. She is a person who just gets something done. Wherever she goes, she makes things happen. And I'm really thankful to her
Sorry,
for.
I'll give you an opportunity to complete the thank yous right after this break, please.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
This year and every year we must walk, ride and drive with care. The road is not a playground, know the road code and obey the rules.
You'll save money, you'll save time, and you will save lives.
By using the road with care. This is our message, so listen. You hear?
Road safety is not a maybe, it's a must.
Road safety begins with you.
A message from the Road Safety Unit, Ministry of Transport and the Mine.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM. Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
For the loser now will be later to win. For the times they are a change.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:02. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:02.现在 TDN 了10:02分. 2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with Mrs. Cordelia Folks of Meadowbrook Preparatory School and Mr. Fahim Chowdhury of Bronx Charter School for Better Learning as they continue their collaboration, which will culminate on the 27th. That's next week, Wednesday, the 27th of January, a virtual educational exchange program. And this is just perfect based on all that has happened and the impact on our children since the onset of COVID-19. And we're delighted to be able to share this virtual educational exchange program and just the general experience of how things have been so far, with a view to inspiring other educational institutions here in Jamaica and in the United States and elsewhere in the world for that matter. It does make a difference. It gives, well, let me not take away from the educators. The educators are on the line. So you were saying, Cordelia, folks, you wanted to say a big thank you. You were expressing gratitude before the break.
Yes. This is Carlene Buckles Fraser, Jamaican who has traveled all over, and wherever she goes, she leaves positive mark. She makes things happen. And I am really thankful to her. It's just her nature, and we want to thank her for just helping to put this thing together. And also our principals, Mr. Schubert Jacobs and Miss Gloria Francis, because without their permission and without them facilitating this kind of partnership, it would not have happened, or it would not have gotten this far.
Yes.
So I just would like to publicly thank them for assisting and helping to make this happen.
And Fahim Chowdhury, I heard you earlier on starting to thank a couple of people.
Oh man, okay, I'll try to make it fast. Like,
That's all right.
I feel like in like the Oscars, the music's going to start to play, going to boot me off. But like Mrs. Buckle, first and foremost, amazing. She was our connection, and she has this ability of bringing people together to make these wonderful projects happen. My co-teacher, Mrs. Alexander, all the people on my team, Mrs. Wolfen for doing the TikTok, my wonderful assistants, all the lower grade teachers coming up to help with this. This is Mrs. Comrie, Baronian, I know I'm forgetting somebody, Mrs. Walker, the principal, the music teacher, Mrs. Greenwood, Mrs. Linzer, the art teacher, Mrs. Holodak. All these people were involved in making this happen. I just kind of had an idea, and I just ran it by Mrs. Buckle. And then, together we started planning things, and then all these other people came in to make this happen. So, I don't want to take any kind of credit for it. I'm kind of the face of this thing now, I guess, but I'm just really, really appreciative that we have all the support at our school for this, and also Mrs. Francis and also Mrs. Folks, and I'm forgetting people. The gentleman, Mr. Taylor, who got in touch with you, and you, sir. I feel like we have a lot in common, Mr. Malcolm. Your show is called Kids Connect, and I will say, I guess, one last thing, because I feel like I'm burning my time here.
Not at all.
You look at society today, you look at, in America anyway, you look at, our government, and you look at the acrimony, and you look at, cable news, and you look at how they talk to each other. And it's kind of a travesty, and they're really bad role models for our kids. But I look at our kids, and I have hope for the future. And, in our country, we have a lot of racial division, and there's a lot of, strife throughout the world. But if kids, I have an opinion that kids aren't born racist. I have an opinion that kids are born open and loving.
Absolutely.
And the more exposure we give them to other types of people, diverse groups of people, the better the world's going to be. Because a lot of the problems in the world, it comes from fear of the other. I don't know the other, and therefore I dehumanize the other. And I feel like that's where a lot of problems originate. But if, starting with the education system, if we have, people who are white, people who are black, people who are brown, people from this country and that country, and they work together on projects and they realize each other's common humanity, I kind of feel like that's the way to a better future. And let me tell you something. I'm looking at my kids right now at BBL, and, I'm sure, Cordelia would say the same. And I feel optimistic. Studies are showing that, kids these days are savvier than ever, and they have less discrimination than previous generations. And I hope that's true, but empirically, I look at my kids, and I have a lot of hope for the future. So, it's an opportunity really to do this for them, and, just keep rolling with it, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, in listening to you and all that you said just now, one song came to mind, and it's called "We All Are One" by Jimmy Cliff. Not sure if you're familiar with that one.
I'm gonna look it up.
Please do, because I think it's perfect, because it
heard,
speaks about the children, and look at the children; they're having fun and with no regard to race or whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
You were saying?
Yeah, no, we also have a saying, we both of our countries, out of many one. It's printed on our currency, e pluribus unum, out of many one. Yes. And, right now, our country, you've seen it on the news. I'm sure it's all over the place with the invasion of the Capitol. And it seems like it's two Americas. But, we're striving for a more perfect union in this country, and throughout the world, really. And I feel like the way to really start is in education, and to create these opportunities, these global opportunities with diverse people. I kind of feel like we'll go a long way towards more unity, better discourse, more collaborative problem solving, the stuff we're not seeing from our adults on TV these days. I'm hoping our kids are going to do a lot better job. And I'm actually really, really optimistic that they will, So, Yeah.
No, I could
know that's
talk
like
to you both
a
all afternoon. It's you've been very engaging, but I have to get in this one before we wrap. Mrs. Folks, there here in Jamaica we tend to be well, we have mixed feelings when it comes on to politics and politicians and etc. When you broach the subject to the students, how did they respond?
Well, they were okay with learning how government works.
Right.
But I could hear, some talk about this party and that party, and maybe things that they would hear at home. So, but for me, it was okay because I was able to say to them, all right, look at this, you're a citizen. We have to learn to respect other person's view, respect what, as long as you express yourself in a respectful way, that's okay. So for me, it was more about getting them to understand how to relate. You don't have to like this party or you don't have to like this individual in this party, but then we have to be sensible about what we do. And we talk about behavior in Parliament, what is expected, what we would want to see, what we think may not be that great. So out of all of this, I think they are learning quite a bit in terms of just how to behave. And I said to them, many of you may become politicians. And think about it. If you are going to be one of these politicians a few years down the road, what are the changes that you would like to see? What do you think could make a meeting at Parliament better?
Yes.
So we have been having discussions, and I think that it helps.
Of course, it augurs well for the future of this country and the world.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The other thing is, because it all sounds so exciting, I wish I could be at, if even a fly on the wall somewhere. It's obviously going to be between the two schools, between Meadowbrook Prep School and the Bronx Charter School for Better Learning.
Yeah, well, we can record it and send you a video. I mean, if you can't be there, we could definitely send you something, Mr. Malcolm, for sure.
Yeah, well, I don't want to add to your workload.
No, wouldn't be work at all. We have a fabulous host. Mrs. Falco would take care of you, take you to breakout rooms. But yeah, I mean, you could definitely reach out to Mr. Taylor if you wanted to do that. Absolutely, you could do that. We'd love to have you and get your feedback on it.
Yeah, but then again, I'm thinking, would I really want? I mean, if I'm there, if I'm on, it would be quietly. I wouldn't want to, people to think.
Well, no harm in inquiring about it, and we'll see what we can do for you as far as you have, being able to be a fly on the wall for this type of thing, One other thing, I played for my kids, you had these young children in Jamaica speak before Parliament about the issue of violence, and I played that for my children. Yes. And I found that to be so inspirational, the way that they spoke, just their talent, how articulate they were. And eventually, I do want to do something on activism. We did Martin Luther King today for our warm-up. His birthday, not his birthday, his day was on Monday, the holiday. Yeah. Birthday is on the 15th. Yeah. But, we want to study different forms of activism and take a look at how these people who have effectuated change, like, what did they do? What were their strategies? And we want to empower our young people. I have no qualms in saying that our institutions seem like they're failing in America right now. And so the way to sort of remedy that is, at the end of the day, we are a democracy. At the end of the day, I believe, in this country anyway, we get, governments and media as good as the citizens. So we need to really empower our students with language skills, persuasion skills, with understanding of government and society, understanding of how media can manipulate. so that they can be free, and so that, we no longer, I feel like our country is an oligarchy. Basically you have politicians, wealthy people, controlling a lot of these things, and things don't change, and a lot of people get frustrated. But I kind of do feel like, there's a democratic movement in this country. You're seeing protests on the street. You saw the largest turnout in American history for this election. And so, the more informed participants we have in this democracy, in this society, hopefully we're going to see real change, and we're going to see a better country over time. And so, I don't hold back. I let my kids express their opinions about Trump. They don't particularly like him.
Hold on.
Okay.
Here we go again, because we're up on another break. Let's take this break, and then we definitely will have to wrap when we come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Are you an exporter, a prospective exporter, or have an interest in learning more about exporting? Then this virtual public forum is for you. Join the Jamaica Customs Agency and other industry players for a riveting and informative discussion on all things export under the theme Spotlight on Export, Embracing Opportunities, Confronting Vulnerabilities. Wednesday, January 20, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Visit www.jacustoms.gov.jm to register and participate, and click Connect and converse with Customs. This is an online forum on export you can't afford to miss. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more, right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
Join Jason Downer, Dawit Jeffrey, and Sekou Hunter every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. live and exclusively on Power 106 FM for Magaba's Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Do you have a son? Are you the guardian for boys? Do you teach or work with boys? What are some of the challenges you face? Are you searching for answers? Are you concerned about the state of our nation boys and males in general? Raising boys, teaching boys, preparing boys. Magava Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Join us.
Like a stone, all the time they are unchanged.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:18. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:18. 现在 TDN 了4点18分. 18 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the students listening to us, all the schoolers from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And remember, notwithstanding all that's happening around us and for us and to us and with us, that it's all a part of our schooling. All a part of our schooling. But let's remember to borrow that quotation once again we like to use. Do not allow your schooling to interfere with your education. It's all a part of your schooling. And just try and understand what's happening. Ask questions. learn, write, read, paint, uh, listen to music, all the various ways in which you can creatively deal with what's happening, all that's happening around you. How about that? Anyway, I'm not the trained teacher here. The trained teachers are online. Fahim Chowdhury, representing the Bronx Charter School for Better Learning, and Cordelia Folks of Meadowbrook Preparatory School. They are collaborating, both institutions. They have been working together, and the collaboration will culminate on the 27th of January, next week, Wednesday, through a virtual educational exchange program. And we feel like the exchange has long started and is in high gear, and it will climax on the 27th of January. So as we wrap, because if we don't wrap, we're going to this discussion could go on for some time. We're loving it, actually, and we're well beyond almost an hour. We're for a one segment program. We're now almost at an hour, but that's fine. It's all good. So now we have already established that the relationship will not end on the 27th of January. And I'm wondering, for those, maybe there are some students and teachers and principals, administrators of other schools listening to us, whether here in Jamaica or in the diaspora, and they're wondering, geez, this sounds like fun. How can we get our school involved? Who can we talk to? Are you there yet in terms of helping to facilitate other similar connections from your standpoint, first of all, Cordelia, folks here in Jamaica?
Well, as I said, Carleen Buckle Fraser makes things happen.
Okay, all right. So that seems to be the magic name.
That's the magic name. But if there's anything we can do to assist,
yes,
we would definitely do that. But Carleen is the girl. I'm telling you, we are so delighted to have Carleen in our lives, because she's actually, we see her as a blessing to both institutions, and anything she touches, that's gold. So,
yes.
but I think persons can reach out to Meadowbrook, and we can see how best we can assist, and with the help of Carleen and Fahim, of course. So
yeah,
we are open for that. And before I close, I'm trying to do this.
Sure.
But before I close, I must thank Mrs. Davis, our art teacher. She helps us with the technical side of things as well, and she has been putting quite a lot into this winter. Also, my the staff at school, although they are not directly involved, but their encouragement and support, I really appreciate that. And Fahim, I'm going to say to you again, Fahim, thank you for this concept. And
well, you've been a wonderful partner. I'm going to talk to you in about 3 hours anyway, so we can take each other in person instead over the radio. But that was, thank you. That was very, very kind of you, and it's been great working with you. And to answer your question, I would love to facilitate more connections. I know at our school, one of the things we're looking to do is to do a field study in the Caribbean. There are certain programs in the Caribbean where you can study coral reefs, and you can study ecosystems. And so what we would like to do is to bring some of our students, a select group of students, actually to travel after COVID is done. And we were thinking about doing this before. This is me and Mrs. Boggle. It came in Jamaica, wherever. We definitely want our kids to be able to travel and to start doing field studies. And so we would love to make partners with anybody who wants to partner up, anyone who's got a great idea for collaboration. And if there's something I could do to facilitate any of that, I would love to do it. And I know that our principal, Mr. Jacobs, is really, really keen on partnering with Jamaican schools for certain projects, and even beyond Jamaica, just throughout the Caribbean. So I don't know how they're going to get in touch with us, but I almost feel bad if I drop Mr. Jacobs' email on radio right now, but I don't know if he would
That's
like
all
that or
right.
not like that.
No doubt they can always call us and we'll help to make the connection.
Yes, sir. And I would like to, it sounds like you folks. I don't know much about Kids Connect. I would like to learn more about it. I was actually Googling it as we were talking because I just thought that the name was just so perfect for what we're trying to do here. Is just to connect kids in ways that are culturally, educationally, and socially enriching.
Yes, it's part of the it actually came out of a collaboration with the Child Protection and Family Services Agency here in Jamaica, CPFSA.
Oh, wonderful!
And so it's a feature on this program, both sides of the story. The first season was up and running, and we had various representatives from CPFSA and other organizations talking about various issues to do with children, and we've had children themselves on on Kids Connect. But so this is the new season, so we could not have when Lyndon Taylor called, we thought, oh hey, perfect way to start the new season. So.
Yes, and thank you to Lyndon Taylor. I forgot his first name before, but yeah, thanks again to him. Yeah. And real quick, my kids are listening. I just want to tell them, hey, don't forget to do those permission slips, because they got to get these permission slips to do the 27th because of the media stuff. So kids, permission slips due tomorrow.
Spoken like a teacher. Thank you. Thank you both so much. We're going to play that song I was telling you about right now. So as we wrap, just to thank you, you can listen to it until it ends if you wish, etc. But especially for the children to hear as well. We all are one. Jimmy Cliff. Thank you so much, Mrs. Cordelia Folks of Meadowbrook Preparatory School, and thank you, Mr. Fahim Chowdhury of the Bronx Better Learning.
You are welcome, Mr. Malcolm.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure. Take care.
Oh, we all are one. We are the same person. Are we? Oh yeah. We all are one. Same universal word. Are we? No matter where we are born, we are human beings. Same chemistry with emotions and feelings, all corresponding in love. Compatible, you can't get around it no matter how hard you try. You better believe it. If you should find out that you are no different than I, reply. We are the same person. I believe you. We are same universal word. The only difference I can see is in the conscience and the shade of the skin. Doesn't matter. We laugh, we chatter, don't we smile? We all evoke the feelings that make all those faces always renew. So true. And would you believe that I have all those same feelings too? Same as you. We all are one. We are the same person. I believe you. We all same universal word. We are the same person. I believe you be you. We all same universal word.
are having fun with no regards to why. They all look different, but deep inside, their feelings of love they don't hide. They don't hide. They don't hide. They don't hide.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Where are you? Are you trapped in your mind counting numbers? Are you a small business trying to leave your footprint in the world? I can help to take your business anywhere. Are you jogging or are you racing to close the deal of the century? There's a good chance we can do great things together. Are you home, pacing the kitchen confused about what to eat and how you'll pay your staff? I'm way ahead of you. I'll give you the money when you need it. I'm the voice in your ear. My voice? I'm a bank that will meet you where you are. A bank that cares. Exim Bank cares. Exim cares about your business. Exim cares about you.
COVID-19 is still here. Always wear your mask correctly while in public places, covering your nose and mouth at all times. Masks should never be worn over the head, under your chin, below your nose, or hanging from your ears. Recovery from COVID-19 can take up to 60 days or more. The mask or the ventilator? You choose. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and One Spot Media has a special gift for you and your family. Enjoy a 30% discount on our 6-month subscription plan and receive the gift of Jamaica's most authentic television and radio channels. Yup, you heard us correctly. Enjoy a 30% discount when you purchase a 6-month subscription plan from One Spot Media. Simply log into onespotmedia.com, select the 6-month subscription plan, and click subscribe. Offer ends January 31, so don't hesitate. Subscribe now and let One Spot Media connect you
Farmers,
with home.
come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Que ahora es en español. Son las 5:28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:28. Sienzai, TDN le, Wu Dien, Cha Ar Shur Ba Fen. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Hello to Angela in Toronto, Canada, Inez Campbell-Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Robledo Black Pearl Michelle says, Dervan, just following up with my question yesterday with regard to Alan Rickard's slot, there should be a commercial entrepreneur slot where financial, legal operations, questions answered for small business owners, exporting opportunities, market research on industries, as well as individual career options. Thank you very much, Robledo, Black Pearl Michelle, for your suggestions. The closest we are to that right now is MIIC Live, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce feature, which is aired every first and third Thursday, which means it's on this Thursday at 3:30 in the afternoon. But if you're thinking a feature that is geared in a more focused and determined way at at uh, at micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises or entrepreneurs, then we perhaps would need to look at the possibilities in creating such a feature as well. Thank you very much for your suggestions, Robledo, Black Pearl, Michelle. Let's see how far we can take those suggestions. Norman Hines says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Norman Hines. He's also greeting listeners. Thanks on behalf of the listeners. Anthony Moody says he's watching and listening on his computer. Great program, wonderful conversations from Ocala in Florida. Welcome, Anthony Moody from Ocala, Florida. Quincy Brown in Grand Cayman says, we respect people. We need not like them. Teach this to our children. Trump, Bush, McLaughlin, Biden, Patterson, Golding, Tibbets, Miller, the monarch, the vicar of Christ. We respect the positions and offices they hold. We should pray for people who we dislike and those who dislike us. Thank you, Quincy Brown in Grand Cayman, for your thoughts. Dr. Trevor Dixon, emergency medicine physician at Jacobi Medical Center in the Bronx, New York, and founder of Jaja Foundation, Jamaicans Abroad, helping Jamaicans at home, says, greetings, Dervan. Seems like the Bronx is leading the way with educational collaborations. And Dr. Dixon is saying what he's saying there because Jaja Foundation is hosting its annual, and this is the 13th staging, but the first is going to be the first virtual ultrasound conference, and it will take place. It will involve participants in 3 locations. There's the Jacobi Medical Center in the Bronx in New York, the Kingston Public Hospital's Emergency Department, and the University Hospital of the West Indies Emergency Department as well. So that takes place on the 24th of January. It's a 13th annual Jaja Foundation ultrasound conference. In fact, it's one of those events that has been going on for a very long time right now, quite a few years, and it continues, except that this year it's going to be virtual. So we want to remind you, it's emergency and critical care ultrasound conference happening on the 24th of January. That's the 20. That's a Sunday, right? Yes, the 24th is a Sunday, I believe. Yeah, Sunday the 24th, involving Jacobi Medical Center in the Bronx, New York, the University Hospital of the West Indies, and the Kingston Public Hospital. Can we clear some more messages? Quincy Brown says, come to Little Cayman, CMI, study the underwater world. And he says, great interview. We all are one. Jimmy Cliff. Good afternoon, all, says Angela in Toronto, Canada. Quincy Brown says, Megan, you are correct. We need better connections between the islands as we island hop. We need not go through Miami. Post COVID-19, Cayman Airways, Liat, Caribbean Airlines should look into connecting all of us Caribbean people. We need easier movement between Cuba, Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Jamaica, and Cayman Brac, says Quincy Brown. Eulalie Davis, good afternoon to you as well. Thank you very much for tuning in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And Cherry Henry, welcome. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. I'm late today. Better late than never, Cherry Henry. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Angelia Christian in London has shared with us pictures of the computers, the chairs, the desks, and other items of furniture and decor. And this is, so she has done it again. Angelia Christian has outfitted the Information Technology Suite at Mount Pleasant Primary School in Portland with computers and other learning aids, plus furniture for the Information Technology IT Suite. Well done, Angelia Christian in London. We'll perhaps speak with her before the week is out. Well done. Lyndon Taylor had fun. He enjoyed the interview. Thank you for facilitating, he says. It was a pleasure. H. Morgan in Birmingham, England says, Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon. Hope all is well and you all... No, we read that one already. There's a follow-up message. I know you are serving the public, but believe me, you have a lot of patience, especially where your caller about Africa is concerned. Does he know that the red, green, and yellow flag with the black star is the Ghanaian flag and not Ethiopia? I salute you, Mr. Malcolm, for displaying such patience. Well done to you. I could not do it. Thanks for your message, H. Morgan. Errol in Spanish Town says, hi, Dervan. The RAS should know that there is no pass back to Africa. Sharon in Mandeville, Manchester says, good evening, Mr. Malcolm. Good afternoon. She says, I'm so hurting. My boss died. I'm so sorry to hear that, Sharon. So sorry to hear. Condolences to you and the other employees, and condolences to your boss's family, friends, colleagues. So sorry to hear. Be strong. And last one for now, Miss B in St. Mary says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Miss B in St. Mary. Thank you so much for tuning in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Can we give you a bit of history before we go to the break? We haven't done that in a little while, have we? Let's see. There's just so much to share and so little time. Dr. Thomas Coke, the first Methodist missionary to Jamaica, arrived at Port Royal on this day in 1789. Dr. Thomas Coke established the first Methodist church in Jamaica. We'll come back to Dr. Coke in a moment, but first, a word on the history of Methodism. John Wesley, English evangelist and theologian, along with his brother Charles, founded the Methodist movement. Methodism was founded within the Anglican Church to fortify and supplement the work of that church. Wesley and his associates were dubbed Methodists from the methodical way in which they observed their principles. Adherents eventually became known as Wesleyan Methodists. In 1784, there was a break with the Anglican Church, and the Methodist community became a separate entity, though it was not established as the Methodist Church until after Charles Wesley's death. Now back to Dr. Thomas Coke, who brought Methodism to Jamaica soon after his arrival at Port Royal on this day in 1789. Dr. Coke, who was superintendent of the American Methodists, established the first church and organizing for the first missionaries to come to Jamaica. Coke Methodist bears Dr. Thomas Coke's name. In fact, Coke Methodist Church stands on the site of the first Methodist chapel built in Jamaica. The chapel was originally a merchant's house that was remodeled. The first chapel was opened in 1790. Good afternoon to to all Methodists tuned in to both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, sharing with you a bit of your history.
Come, mothers and fathers throughout.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First and in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First and team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First and in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First and Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
For the loser now will be later to win, for the time they are a-changing.
Que ahora es en español, son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 14. 现在几点了？5点差14分。14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Poro 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's share another bit of history with you, just to show the ways in which Jamaica has been at the center of all kinds of developments in history. Check this, 1762. Make a note of the year, 1762. The ship HMS Deptford, Deptford. The ship HMS Deptford, Deptford, arrived at Port Royal to conduct a trial with H4, a chronometer by John Harrison designed to solve the problems of longitude and time determination at sea. Its success revolutionizes navigation. John Harrison invented the marine chronometer. A chronometer is a timepiece, and that chronometer is spelled Cronometer. Cronometer. I suspect Chronometre would also be accepted. So a chronometer is a timepiece designed to be accurate in all conditions of temperature, pressure, etc. And it's used especially at sea. So this is what essentially all vessels at sea would use. And to think that this ship, in testing the H4 chronometer, which was invented by John Harrison, They sailed the ship HMS Deptford to Port Royal. Now, we perhaps neglected to give you the origin of the ship, but we were so excited when we came across this piece of information that we selected the piece that speaks about the ship HMS Deptford arriving at Port Royal to conduct a trial with the H4, a chronometer invented by John Harrison, designed to solve the problems of longitude and time determination at sea. And the success of this chronometer revolutionized navigation. John Harrison invented the marine chronometer. And again, a chronometer is a timepiece designed to be accurate in all conditions of temperature, pressure, etc. It is used especially at sea. Let's give you another one. 1852, an article from the Jamaican paper, the Daily Advertiser, on this day in 1852, reported a meeting in the parish of St. George. A report was given of the decline of produce in the island. Sugar export had fallen from 150,000 hogsheads to 36,000. That's a dramatic drop. Coffee had fallen from 34 million pounds to 5 million pounds. So just to give you an indication that the decline in agriculture in Jamaica has been happening for some time, or over time, because this was 1852, and the Jamaican paper, known as the Daily Advertiser, reported a meeting in the parish of St. George. A report was given of the decline of produce in Jamaica. Sugar export had fallen from 150,000 hogsheads to 36,000. Coffee had fallen from 34 million pounds to 5 million pounds. And Mr. Dunbar described the island as exhibiting widespread desolation instead of luxuriant fields and people busily working. Landowners had been driven from their homes by financial distress. The jungle had retaken the cane fields. Buildings were decaying, and the island was on the brink of a disaster created by Britain. In 1846, a law was passed in England to equalize the tariff on sugar and to eventually eliminate protective duties which favored the colonies. This led to a rapid decline of the British West Indies. Sugar prices fell alarmingly. The planter as a class was ruined. Some plantations were abandoned, some were divided into lots and sold to Negro peasants. What a thing. That was 1852 in Jamaica. 1895, the main railway line from Kingston was extended to Montego Bay in St. James, and the first train chugs into the station at Montego Bay on this day in 1895. The Jamaica Railway Corporation was officially opened on the 20th of November, 1845. The railway cost £222,250 and was built soon after the first public railway in England, making it one of the first in the world. Number 3, by our count, actually, third in the world. William and David Smith, merchant, landowner, and planter, respectively, were instrumental in the development of Jamaica's rail service. How about Excelsior? Any Excelsorians around listening? Well, the word Excelsior is Latin for higher. Excellent. Like the story of Excelsior High School, Excelsior was founded on this day in 1931 by Aston Wesley Powell, who admitted the first 5 students. Excelsior School was situated at 8 Hampton Street in Campbelltown, the home of Aston Wesley Powell's parents, with whom he resided. Aston Wesley Powell's father was a foundation member of the staff. That first morning, a short worship and dedication service was conducted by Aston Powell's father. Present at that first ceremony were the Powell's neighbors, 16 friends, and the parents of the first 5 students of the new school. Excelsior began as an infant school, and the sign above the gate read, "The Excelsior Infant and Preparatory School." However, before the first week was out, a number of students from more established government-aided schools applied for admission because they had not been promoted to sit the December 1931 Cambridge examinations. The high school was born. These students were successful and established Excelsior's reputation as an educational rescue and recovery institution. And can we give you another piece of the Excelsior story that we're not sure how many of us are familiar with? When Wesley Powell was 15 years old, his father took him to Calabar High School. His father tried to get him into Calabar High School. But his father was told that Wesley Powell was too old, at age 15, too old to be admitted to Calabar High School. So that day, Reverend Dr. Aston Wesley Powell, well, he wasn't all of that back then. He was just Wesley Powell back then. He left Calabar with the resolve that he would found a school for those who are too old and too poor. And that gave birth to Excelsior High School. It started essentially on his parents' veranda. So it is. And there is more that we could share, but we have to wrap. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 19th of January, 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5, Inauguration Day. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing. Mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize if you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.